Hey. Okay, are we live?
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome to.
There's no one in it right now.
Is it not? Okay.
Well, they watch back though, so.
Okay, so guys, welcome to what's this, number 3?
I think so, isn't it?
The third ISI Q&A Live Instagram chat. So today what we're going to try and do, guys, we appreciate your time logging on, especially the weekend, and for all guys that listen to us afterwards, we're going to try and keep around 20 minutes. So this week, since the last episode, I went through 3 books. So the 3 books I went through, one was called The Dental Diet, one was called The Autoimmune Fix, and the one I just finished there was called Healing the Childhood Epidemics, the 4 A's, Autism, ADHD, Allergies and Asthma by Stephen Bach. So actually it's a phenomenal book. So anyone that has any kids out there, not even if they have allergies or asthma or ADHD or autism, it's just very good when it comes to nutrition advice, bowel health, skin health, concentration for kids. It has a lot about vaccination and all that's a bit of a can of worms. Maybe we don't go into that one just yet. But a very well researched book. It was published, I think the first edition was in 2011. He recently re-edited it and brought it out again. But full of information, great nutrition, supplementation, vaccinations, medicine. So a phenomenal book. So it's called The Healing the Childhood Epidemic by Stephen Bach. The second book there I mentioned was The Autoimmune Fix, and that was by Tom O'Brien. So anyone want any autoimmunity in your family, maybe your brother, sister, your mum or dad, it goes through a lot of in-depth recommendations, and again, supplements, lifestyle, exercise, what you can get tested to bring down or manage your autoimmunity. And the last one was called The Dental Diet. The Dental Diet I thought was really interesting. So we have a guy in the gym, Leo, and he's phenomenal when it comes to breathing and breathing mechanics and jaw position, nose position, nasal breathing and so on. But the Dental Diet is basically, if you've read that book by Weston A. Price on disease and nutrition and disease, in relation to how your jaw is formed, how your nose is formed, how your teeth are formed in relation to your diet. Now, if I said to Adam, we're going to have to cut off your baby finger, he'd flip out. If I said to Robbie, we have to cut off your baby toe, he'd flip out. We regularly get our wisdom teeth taken out because our jaw can't accommodate the size of our wisdom teeth coming up. So if you have to cut a part of your body or take a part of your body out because your body hasn't grown enough space to have that, that's a problem. So with the dental diet, it goes through how your jaw is formed, how your nasal passage is developed, how your sinuses are formed in relation to your tongue position, in relation to your mouth. It goes through how the fourth part of digestion, your microbiome starts in your mouth. So phenomenal book there. So to review those, Healing the Childhood Epidemic, the 4 A's, allergies, autism, asthma. Second one was The Autoimmune Fix, and the last one was The Dental Diet. So 3 book recommendations. So
I've got a question for you, Eoin, with it in terms of jaw formation and when children are growing, what are the factors that do influence jaw or teeth structure? Like, is it heavy metals? Is it mitochondrial function? Is it vitamin micronutrients? What did the book really speak about?
Okay, so one of the things he's talked a lot about was vitamin A, vitamin D and vitamin K. Now a lot of people will focus a lot on vitamin D in relation to bone formation and teeth formation, but vitamin D is essential for calcium deposit, but vitamin K in particular, MK4 and MK7 are crucial for bringing the calcium and vitamin D into the bone and keeping it there.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate with you, and I'm going to say, well, why isn't calcium as important as vitamin D or A or K and stuff like that? Because people do supplement an awful lot with calcium here and may not know if it is actually beneficial or if it's just
calcium is a great supplement. The problem is calcium itself won't be brought into the bone without vitamin D, and it won't stay in the bone without vitamin K. So one of the things that I talked to a girl there last week in relation to, she's taking high levels of B12, and the problem with taking high levels of any one thing, the B vitamins all need to be balanced. Now, not exactly balanced with each other, but in a specific ratio. So you just take calcium and you're not taking vitamin A, you're not taking vitamin D, you're not taking vitamin K, it won't work. The same way if you take B12, you're not taking B6, B5, B1, it's not going to be balanced. So they all work synergistically together.
I don't know about you, but the clients I see, I don't think their diets are low in calcium. I think their diets are low in vitamin D. So if they do have low calcium, I don't think it's because of their diet, I think it's because of the lack of vitamin D. So I think if you do go to your doctor and do get a vitamin D test, chances are they're vitamin D deficient.
Yeah, fully agree. I had a lady recently come to see me, lovely lady, and she came for aesthetic reasons. She wanted to improve her body composition and her size of her muscle mass. The problem was, I said, listen, have any blood work done? She said, yeah, I had blood work done before Christmas. So she brought her blood work into me. Her hemoglobin, guys, was 6.9. A hemoglobin of 6.9 is someone that needs to be rushed to A&E to get a blood transfusion.
So just to give the audience perspective, an average hemoglobin would be
13 to 17.
Yeah.
So 13 to 17 and she's 6.9. So she's been walking around massively fatigued. Now again, if you don't take iron, you're not eating iron on a regular basis, if you have heavy menstrual cycle, that's going to make you lose iron. But she gets fatigued when she stands up. She gets fatigued throughout the day. She's not eating regularly. So our vitamin D, Robbie, was 27. If your vitamin D is 27, guys, you're leaving your house with your phone at 2% every single day. And listen, you have to realise, guys, when it comes to training in the gym, and we preach this all the time, so I'm going to say it again. I have different roles in my life. I'm a husband, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a dad, I'm a boss, I'm a friend, I'm a training partner. So you have all these different roles in your life. If you're walking around and your hemoglobin, which for those guys that don't know, the hemoglobin carries blood around, oxygenated blood around the body, so it feeds all the organs and all your cells.
So to really simplify, hemoglobin is a marker of energy production or oxygenation.
Exactly. We all talk about vitamins and minerals and calcium and vitamin D. The number one nutrient that we need, or we will die, is oxygen. So if you want to kill any cell in the body, don't give it oxygen. So if we don't have hemoglobin to carry the oxygen around, we're gonna be not healthy. Let's just say it that way. So hemoglobin is vitally important for all our organs. I was going off there. I want to forget what
vitamin D. What was that?
But we were at an IFM conference, and I forget the guy's name. Remember the guy in London?
Pete Williams?
Exactly, yeah. So he spoke about, you can go 382 days without food. How many days can you go without water, roughly?
Yeah, it's 40 days. He can possibly manage.
And how long can you go without oxygen? Not very long. So, you do have to look at your oxygen quality and your oxygen carrying capacity in the body. So hemoglobin and red blood cells and stuff like that is a great marker for that.
I was
just going to say, we do have a question.
So just on vitamin D, like you're talking about there, we live in Ireland, so vitamin D, obviously we don't get much sun, and then just when we do get sun, people are probably in the office, which is usually the case. They're always giving out, we're locked in the office when the sun is out. But I had a client that actually got hospitalised because of vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah.
She was given 1 month prescription of 400 IUs a day of vitamin D.
No,
I'm not shitting.
You're joking.
No, 400 IUs a day for 1 month, that was it.
That's like getting
Don't come back to me. That was
ridiculous. So, you guys, we're looking at around 4,000 to 5,000 IUs of vitamin D. Dr. Patrick Hollick has a great YouTube video on it. He's the vitamin D guru. He's phenomenal. A lot of research on it. He does like a lot of vitamin D2. I prefer vitamin D3.
And what test did you use? A standard test?
You can just get a serum vitamin D test. Yeah.
And let's say you weren't, because it's obviously a very controversial topic, because you don't want to give it too high of a range, but is there a safe zone that you can nearly always recommend to somebody, or would you definitely for a test?
I would. This is the thing, guys. Some people out there recommend more than 5,000 IUs. For an adult above about 60 kilos, I'd be extremely comfortable to recommend 5,000 IUs. However, if you're going to recommend any more than that, I strongly suggest that they get them tested. It's an extremely inexpensive test. And just so you know something, vitamin D is a pro-hormone. It has hormone-like effects in the body. So if you're deficient in it, it's going to cause some major issues. And again, as Adam mentioned there, seasonal affective disorders. And when people are like winter now, it's getting super dark really early at the moment. So if you're not getting any sunlight, your vitamin D levels are low, your immune system goes down low. And Tom O'Brien has a great analogy when it comes to vitamin D. When you have inflammation going on the body, it's like a gun shooting. If you've got low vitamin D, you can't turn that gun off. So your inflammation is going to go over and above what it needs to do. So vitamin D is phenomenal for bringing down or quenching inflammation.
And just to expand on that, it's not, vitamin D is not just for calcium absorption or just inflammation or bone density. It's also good for let's say increasing insulin sensitivity and just improving blood sugar. So vitamin D deficiency can cause a whole host of problems. So it is very good to get it checked.
No, and this is the thing. always look at the lowest hanging fruit. People are out there looking for some fancy supplement. Get out in sunlight. People are not even exposing their skin to the sun. Plus, people's livers and kidneys help actually manufacture vitamin D. So, taking a vitamin D supplement, not vitamin D fortified milk. Keep away from that crap. Get an actual supplement itself. You got a question there, Robbie?
Yeah, I do. So this question came in from SB1 Fitness, and if this does apply to any particular athlete, do post down below, because it is kind of an obscure question. So he asks, what is better for increasing stamina, aerobic or anaerobic training?
So I'm gonna push that question. Recently, actually Hannah, one of the girls that works in the gym, said I gave her the heart rate monitor to do her basketball game yesterday. So
which I went to watch, and she's
an animal, yeah. So looking at her stats, all in all, from 1 with the cool down, it was 2 hours 45 minutes. Her average heart rate was 138 beats. Her max heart rate was 190. Calories burned 1,913, and 22% fat. So stamina is very specific. So stamina for running, stamina for jiu-jitsu, stamina for weight training, for biking is all specific.
So how would you define stamina?
Stamina, generally, for me, what I think about stamina, I see work capacity. I feel lower level of intensity, possibly around 65% of max for a long period of time. What I would say is, when it comes to stamina, you need to look at the muscles in particular. So let's say I'm on the watt bike. If I'm on the watt bike, the majority of the muscles involved are going to be my legs. If I'm doing a salt bike, it's different. If I'm rowing, it's different. If I'm doing jiu-jitsu, it's different. So number one, you need to look at interval training from an anaerobic and aerobic capacity for the muscles specific. And then what you do is, every single sport, guys, when you look at the hierarchy of assessment from a strength conditioning point of view, you need to realise the bioenergetics. So I'm training Robbie and Adam, they're both football players, but Adam's a goalie and Robbie's a midfielder. Robbie's going to do much more distance being a midfielder, and Adam's going to do no distance as a goalie, but he's going to be more anaerobic than possibly Robbie would be. So making sure you assess the specific energy system demands of that particular person. So what sport is that person playing?
He hasn't mentioned, but what you're trying to say is you would train a goalkeeper differently than you would let's say a forward midfielder.
Of course, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So you look at some of the strength and conditioning coaches out there, and they're not doing that.
They're just doing what they say.
Generic approach.
Yeah.
But it's two different things. Like a goalie having to explode, jump high, jump fast, rapidly, and a midfielder just chronically not stopping.
Yeah, but then look at like John Connor, one of the cleaners from the gym in our time. I know, yeah. But he actually, no, I'm not being funny. John, we played against. Actually, I played football against John way back when. I didn't even know that, because he was a goalkeeper and I was a defender for the opposite teams. So we never really met him. But John is a phenomenal goalkeeper. But the problem with John is not tall enough. So John actually got trials from some high level teams, but John not being tall means he's never going to be able to be successful in that role particularly. But the stamina is specific. So what I do is, if that guy wants to give us some more information, we'll do a small little video on how you would assess a particular sport from the stamina requirements. And then what I like to do is, I like to test athletes. So I'll test an athlete in relation to their power, their reactive force, their strength and their fitness, and see what we need to work on it. So for example, I'm going to test Hannah now next week, and we're going to test out where her power and her capacity is. But how am I going to test a basketball player? I certainly won't be doing it on a bike, and I certainly won't be doing it on a row or an assault bike, because I want to make sure the movement specific to the muscles demanded in the particular sport. You know?
And like, to expand on that as well, like going back to the SAID principle, specific adaptation to impose demands. Let's say if you're looking at an explosive athlete, which it could be Olympic lifting or shot put, maybe you don't necessarily need to increase stamina. So you should be looking at different energy systems. But then again, if you're looking at, let's say, it could be an endurance athlete, you potentially do need to increase stamina. So do look at the sport, and do look at let's say which potential fibre twitch dominance they have in that sport, and which energy system you do need to train.
Yeah. Well, like, that's very interesting, because a basketball games are 40 minutes long. That's 2 hours and 45 minutes of time, and like, so that just shows you, if you just plan to do 4 10-minute quarters, you're totally off track. Because that's completely different.
I had a conversation with Robbie Burke in the clinic here 2 weeks ago. And he was writing the paper for his masters on Olympic lifting and how it crossed over to sprinting. And when you look at moving to the gym, like snatches and cleans and power cleans and so on, you're looking at the biomechanics of the movement, you're looking at the fibre twitch that it activates, and you're looking at the explosive power possibly of the movement. No movement in the gym is going to be a movement you do in your sport, unless it's powerlifting, unless it's Olympic lifting. Everything else is just ideally trying to challenge your body to adapt So your adaptation of your body can possibly perform your particular sport better. So people are like punching with dumbbells for MMA athletes, moronic. People using bands for punching, it's going to interfere with the movement pattern. Yes, you can improve someone's fitness. Yes, you can sort of mimic to some extent what they do in the sport, but try to get away from copying what they do in the sport in the gym. Do what's safe and healthy in the gym, getting the range of motion, getting the muscles activated, offsetting the imbalance, reducing the injuries, increasing performance, and then let them do their skill.
So you're saying if I was doing shadow boxing with 5 kilo dumbbells, I won't.
No, you won't. Yeah. Any questions there, Robbie?
Well, like you know that from like me, myself and Eoin do jiu-jitsu, and like you can be fit on the bike, you can be fit at lifting weights, you can do 25 repetitions, 4 sets, and then there's jiu-jitsu fit. It's a different kind of fit, and then there's even judo fit. Like me and Eoin often end up standing for 3 or 4 minutes, and that's a different kind. We get to the ground and we're just dead. Yeah. You know, so 2 different kind of energy systems whatsoever, and we can't mimic that in the gym. Like we just can't.
And what's interesting about that, Dan Baker, phenomenal guy. Anyone out there training teams, anyone out there training groups of people, look up Dan Baker. He's got great research, very nice guy, been to many of his seminars, spoke to him online. But what he basically says is he trains a lot of Aussie football players. So let's say I'm fitter than Adam, but Adam's better at jiu-jitsu than I am. If my fitness is higher than Adam's, I can keep pushing Adam. So if I push Adam past his level of fitness, he has to go anaerobic. As soon as he goes anaerobic, the clock starts ticking, and he only has a certain window that he can stay there. So I can sort of bully my fitness over his technique. Now, having said that, if Adam is doing jiu-jitsu with me and he's always more technical than everyone that he trains with, he can get by in his skill. But as soon as he meets someone of the same skill level and a higher fitness level, that person can sort of bully him out or make him work hard. And once he's pushed out of his comfort zone, that's when the match goes a different way. So that's why a lot of times when we are doing jiu-jitsu or people are playing basketball or football or MMA, you can bully someone, you can push them past their level of fitness, and that's when they make mistakes. So Dan Baker, actually what he does is, he'll find out where the guy's level of fitness are, he'll push them past that, and then make them do drills. So by playing in an actual game, when they are put the pressure on them and they've gone past the level of fatigue, they actually make good decisions. We've got a few minutes left.
Okay. No questions so far, but guys, if you do have any questions, do post below. It can be regarding nutrition, training, supplementation.
So just one thing now that we're still relatively into the whole New Year resolution thing, and everyone's on the smoked salmon bandwagon and the chicken and the rice and you name it, but a video, and I was just talking to Robbie while we were having a coffee there, and one of the guys that we follow posted a video about salmon, and in the picture it was particularly farm Norwegian salmon, and it's offshore farm salmon. So he was going on about how much of a health food it was, and yes, if it was wild Atlantic, it most likely is a health food, but the video in it was basically 40 minutes long, but it was going on about how they were spraying pesticides into the water, and it's pretty much a chap standing there with a fireman's hose just soaking the water with pesticides. The fish had no faces, they had no fins, they were all over the place. But as well as that, people are taking into consideration, right, great, you might not be eating that, but then you're going and you're buying cheap fish oils, and I won't say brands, but you're buying cheap fish oils that are probably coming from them fish. So do keep that in consideration, guys, if you're out there and you're trying to buy the fish oils and you're saying, well, there's a €30 one that's made by Dr. Serrano, and there's a €5 one that's made, and to buy one get one for 1 cent.
And the difference being is, okay, one, if you're buying a fish oil in a clear container, chances are that fish oil is oxidized, and two, where is the fish oil coming from? Is it factory raised or is it wild caught? So if it's wild caught, there could be more omega-3 fatty acids in it. If it's farmed, the fats are one, oxidized, and two, potentially toxic, because what are them fish being fed? So there is a huge spectrum in terms of fish oil quality out there. So do your research and make sure it is.
Yeah, I like to follow the 3 P's when it comes to any supplements. First of all, it should be pharmaceutical. When I was pharmaceutical pH, it should have high potency and it should have purity. So make sure you're looking at the 3 P's: pharmaceutical, potency, and purity. On that note, guys, at the start of February to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, myself and Dr. Serrano are going to be presenting the ICANN seminar, which is going to be on nutritional medicine. And the more and more I talk to trainers, when they do the nutrition medicine profiling course, they understand a different lens. They have a little different way of looking at people when they come into the clinic or into the gym, realising that it's not all about calories, not necessarily all about fibre, it's not all about training, it's the holistic approach, looking at the whole person from a hormonal standpoint, from a blood sugar standpoint, from a detoxification standpoint, from a lifestyle to a sleep, to a digestion, to a GI health. So again, if you guys are interested in that, that's on icanseducation.com. The guys that have done the course, they're going to be assisting on the weekend, so it'll be phenomenal.
So we just got a question, so for strength sports like powerlifting and weightlifting, is there any specific body composition or level of body fat that will give better performance as opposed to that belief, the heavier you are, the better?
Yeah.
So can I just to start on that, or the heavier you are, the stronger you are. So just to start on that depends on what weight category you're in. If you're in the highest weight category, maybe the heavier you are, that might carry over. But myself and Robbie did a powerlifting competition, and I think hands down I'm not built for it, but I still went for it. And prior to, I said I want to cut a few kilos, and I cut like 4 or 5 kilos. I went in relatively lean, didn't I? I went in pretty carved, and my performance didn't lack in any way. So I was quite lean. So I've always heard that term: the heavier you are on the platform, the better you're going to lift. For me, I was actually 5 kilos lighter than what I had lifted in the gym, and yeah, I still got PBs that day. Energy was good. I felt no lows throughout the day. So my personal opinion is I don't think there has to be. You don't have to be fat, or you don't have to be skinny. So.
Yeah, so from being over on West Side and being around that environment and talking to Dr. Serrano, who has years of experience, particularly with powerlifters. So again, taking consideration of powerlifters, sometimes they're assisted, i.e. taking steroids, sometimes they're not. I would be of the opinion that you should be at least below 20% body fat. Yeah. You don't have to be 10% body fat, but 15 to 20% body fat would be fine for a powerlifter. Realising that adipocytes are fat cell and fat cells.
They're unnecessary.
Well, they're unnecessary, but they also can be pro-inflammatory. They can put more weight in the joints than you necessarily need. Again, if you're a powerlifter, maybe you might need it to touch your chest at an earlier stage, but I would be of the opinion 20% and below would be optimal for most powerlifters. Then depending if you want to get into a weight category, your dimensions, your lever length and so on. But being super lean, one thing we did, I dealt with a lot of rugby players when I was younger, and we used to get the rugby players quite lean, and we found that once they got below 10% body fat, their cushion wasn't there for blows, their immune system was slightly suppressed. So again, a magazine we were writing for, they had a researcher, and they realised that 11% is around a good body fat, average body fat percentage for a rugby player. You can imagine there's a big spectrum there. So, but powerlifters sub 20.
So this is from my own personal experience. When I have competed in the past, I found that depending on kind of my macronutrient composition would impact performance dramatically. So if you look at powerlifting, or let's say Olympic lifting, it's not really a very glycolytic sport.
No.
But for me personally, if I drop my carbohydrates down, let's say to less than 150 grams, my performance did suffer. Even though I was doing a double or a single squat, it did suffer. Whether that was glycogen in the muscle, water retention, lever lengths, I found the lower carb I went, the more my performance suffered. So maybe Eoin, you can answer that. Even though powerlifting is not a glycolytic sport, does carbohydrate consumption
definitely that much? Massively. Well, what I would say is yes, the actual sport. How long are your training sessions? How long are your warm-ups?
Yeah.
You know, they take a long time. It's a lot of neural drive. It's a lot of pressure of the bones, ligaments, tendons. So maybe the actual activity itself isn't a high energy expenditure activity, but again, the recovery from that is quite demanding post, and the fact that the movements are quite specific and the frequency of training is quite high. The carbohydrates are essential for recovery.
So what you're saying is, if myself and Adam did the same workout, I may be a little bit more metabolically flexible, so I might burn through glycogen a little bit quicker. Possibly. And I need some more carbohydrates after the workout.
Possibly, yeah.
So, I mean, one more question.
So we're just over time, guys, but we'll quickly ask this one. Are there certain supplements that you recommend for people taking throughout the year, which in your opinion are the most important?
One supplement each.
What?
We'll do one supplement each.
Yeah, you know what, and I'm going to say this now, and if you can, guys, please stop spending money on supplements that you don't know work for you. People are taking all these fancy stuff and they don't know what they need. Go get a comprehensive blood test. Go get a CBC from your doctor. Get your liver, get your cholesterol, get your thyroid, and get your vitamin D, B12, folic acid, homocysteine, C-reactive protein, and see if you are. The most important supplement to take is something that you need. So without being funny, and I'm going to use this, I'm going to say a B vitamin. I'm going to say a B complex. Sorry, Robbie, you're probably going to say that. I want to say B complex. The reason being is inside your cells, guys, you have you've got your mitochondria. Your mitochondria inside your cell, people say it's the powerhouse, it makes ATP. ATP is the energy you need for that cell to do its job and its cell and to make energy for other cells in the body. So you need B vitamins to make that, have that factory make energy. So B vitamins, in my opinion, when I see blood analysis, I feel it's the lowest. Brian Walsh, a good friend of ours, he's got some phenomenal courses on his website called Metabolic Fitness Pro. I watched one yesterday in the sauna for an hour and a half, all on beta cell dysfunction, the glucagon, pro-insulin, pre-pro-insulin, and how it's released. Phenomenal information, but guys, B vitamins tend to be low for so many people. So that's my recommendation, year round.
So secondly, I'd move on to digestive enzymes, and the reason being is where nobody's in the moment anymore. People are eating in the cars or eating at their work desk. So digestion is compromised straight away. Nobody's parasympathetic, which is where you need to be in order to fully digest a meal. So by taking in some digestive enzymes pre-meal or during your meal, whichever you might want to be, including hydrochloric acid and ox boil, will just help you digest the food better, which means that you're going to get better absorption of the micronutrients and the macronutrients. So that'd be my go-to.
Sorry, Robbie, quick jump on that there. If you can't get some good digestive enzymes help everything. Enzymes break down food, but your cells.
Are we back?
No.
I think we are. Delayed though, isn't it?
Okay, sorry guys. Sorry, we've got a bit of a malfunction going on there. So quickly, digestive enzymes help all cells in your body. People call them digestive enzymes, but cells have a turnover, a maturation, and a death, so it helps a lot of stuff going on. But if you can't get a good digestive enzyme, which you can get, apple cider vinegar before your meal is very, very, very potent. Sorry, Robbie.
So, because you stole both mine, I'm going to go back to
yeah, we stole yours, yeah.
The B complex. So I think
No,
specifically a methylated B complex.
Ah, come on! I didn't want to go into that.
So definitely you got to look at the quality of the B vitamins you're consuming. So there are a huge difference between methylated vitamins to let's say cytocobalamin or cytocobalamin and folic acid compared to folate or methylfolate. So do a little research on that. What I would recommend is checking out Ben Lynch's book, MTHFR Basics. But if I said to you, okay, go out and buy a car, well, what sort of car is it, a petrol or diesel? So different vitamins different B vitamins will have different impacts on the body. Like Eoin spoke about mitochondria being the factory of the cell. Methyl B vitamins are more efficient at working there and leave less waste or less damage to that cell. So Eoin said B vitamins, I say methyl B vitamins, and then I'm calling bullshit in that there. You know, you can't have that. So I would have got into the methylation and the different. But I only had a short
I think you just thought of something new.
I think I'm going to donate. I'm going to donate vitamin D and magnesium to Robbie. So that's what we're doing.
So just quickly, guys, before we wrap up, you've probably seen a couple of posts prior to this that we have Dr. Serrano over. So he's obviously over for the ICANS seminar, which is this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then after that, he's actually in the clinic here. He's going to be seeing patients. We've also got a couple of interns coming in, so we're going to have 4 to 5 patients every day. There are still some patient slots. The interns are booked up, so there's no more availability for interns, bar who's already inquired. And as well as that, just as a little bonus to you guys, he doesn't know yet, but on the, what date did we say?
Saturday the 10th, yeah.
Saturday the 10th, we'll do another online Q&A at 2 o'clock, so 1400 hours Irish time. And we'll have Dr. Serrano in it. I don't know where he's going to fit, but we'll get him in here.
If you think this is random, wait till you get it.
We might need a whiteboard for the next one.
And maybe reserve more than 20 minutes in your day, because that man will go on and on.
Yeah. So just Tim posted there. So that book that I mentioned was MTHFR Basics by Ben Lynch. It's only available on Kindle, but it's quite a good book. It's about 50 pages long.
Yeah, Tim, he actually, Ben Lynch, his website, he's changed it a few times, but drbenlynch.com. He actually has, he wrote a book last year called Dirty Genes, and it's in relation to how you can optimize your own genes and your own mutations or your single nucleotide polymorphisms. But he has a summit on the 22nd, I think, to the 24th. It's free, it's online, you can obviously pay for it afterwards, but while it's live, it's free. So it's called the Dirty Genes Summit.
And lastly, guys, the symposium's coming up in July. Speakers like John Connor, Damien Maher, we've got Ken Kanakin, Eric Serrano, Victoria Felker, we've got
John Connor speaking. Damien Maher speaking. Other than that guy, you should definitely come and listen to the
Yeah, we've got Shane Lawler. We've got tons of people. Like it's one of the best events you could attend. If you could attend one seminar this year for Yeah, Dan the Swiss.
Oh yeah, Swiss. In Ireland, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the best seminars out there. So do check it out on the Facebook page. There's a couple of links posted there. But do investigate it a bit further and check it out.
And actually, just for the remainder of the January, as far as I know, it's actually you can pay half now and pay half 8 weeks out. So it's definitely for we're all tight on January, so it's definitely a good investment.
So while your questions are fresh, guys, do post some of the questions that you do want answered by myself, Adam, and Eric for the next day.
Even send them into the private messages, guys, and at least then when we kick off, we'll just straight away go into it so people can watch back.
Okay, appreciate your time,
Cheers,
guys. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. No mention of